Today I'm going to be telling you the story about how I used the most controversial mare in Skyblock to make over 1 billion coins in only one election. But our story begins months ago. I've shown nothing about my minion progression since the end of my first video. On purpose. My derpy plans can be summed up in what I like to call the 2 S's. Sheep and sugarcane. And if you'd like to add a third S just for safety measure, get it? You can also add in S tier pets. To start off the derpy S's, we'll start off with sheep. There's been a lot of different minions in the meta of Skyblock. Clay minions, slime minions, fishing minions even for XP. Never once has anyone said that sheep minions are in the meta. In fact, at the start of Skyblock, sheep minions were considered very awful in every way.
Enchanted mutton. It was such a useless item that I had to go on a manhunt to find someone who was actually using sheep minions.
But the thing is that after I took down my lapis minions, I was waiting for it to get money while I was learning the game. And a lot of people were saying that slime was in the meta right then. The thing is, I don't want to just make a decent amount of money by going AFK. I want something that rewards me if I'm active. So more risk, more reward. Now, why is sheep now such a good minion? And how does it relate to derpy?
Arguably the most annoying mare in Skyblock actually outclasses Cole in this case, despite having perks that double all mob HP and disabling the auction house for a week.
And why he's so controversial is that he has 2 bad perks. But, in my opinion, the perks way outweigh that with double minion output and 50% more skill experience. Derpy is all about how you plan for him. The base strategy of having minions, other than a few exceptions, is having a tier 8 minion most of the time. The reason why sheep minions are so good is because you can take the equivalent of 81,920 mutton in order to take a super enchanted egg along with it, to craft a mystery sheep pet. With the super enchanted egg, you have a chance of getting either an epic or legendary. An epic, you basically just want to upgrade to a legendary, which takes quite a bit of time, but if you're lucky, you can get a legendary. And I'm apparently a pretty lucky person. So a epic sheep pet sells for about 1 million, maybe 2 million. A legendary, on the other hand, if you get lucky or have to spend another 81,920 mutton just to upgrade it, the legendary sells during derpy for about 10 million coins each. And that is why sheep minions are so good. The most efficient way of making sheep pets is having 1 chicken minion for every 4 sheep minions that you have. In the amount of time that it takes for the 4 sheep minions to make enough mutton to craft 1 pet, the chicken can make 1 super enchanted egg. On my first derpy, we had 2 chicken minions and a total of 8 sheep minions, making a grand total of 38,400 mutton per day. But that was my first derpy in general, which was on the co-op account. Now we're talking about the actual first derpy on my solo account. There's a difference. Because I didn't actually plan right for my solo account. I just kind of winged it. I found out about the derpy tracker way after this, so yeah, I kind of got surprised. Holy cow! Oh my gosh, derpy! Oh my gosh! Oh! I haven't prepared! I thought this would be another month! Oh no! Oh, gotta go! I was so wrong. Oh no, I did not plan. Guys, I planned for Derpy to be mayor in like a month. I was planning on doing an entire thing for my solo account. Now I have to wait until next Derpy because I can't prepare now. Derpy's been announced. The sugarcane is like most of the time like 100k per. It's already up to 120. My plans got thrown off a bit, but it's gonna be fine. I basically used my first derpy in December, during of which I was making the ice bait video. I used the first derpy to plan for the second, so most of that derpy was just literally getting a bit of profits to actually put towards my plans for the next derpy, which derpy happens about every 4 months. The next one was in April. I thought that I'd also update this in the video, that you can do /playtime and it tells you how much playtime you've done on one profile. Whenever last derpy happened, I had 200 hours. Now I'm at 332, so I had around 130 hours put into this derpy, and I plan on putting more in the next one, because this is basically my derpy to get money. I have a total of 24 legendary level 1 sheep pets. Each legendary sheep pet has nearly 123,000 mutton in each of these sheep pets. This chest alone might not look insane, but it has the equivalent of 2,900,000 mutton in it. And this is not my main thing. I've been mainly putting all my mutton into this. Right now, my collection of mutton is 10 million. I've already collected 10 million, and I'm still upgrading 23 minions. Moment, I got 99 mil. We're in the game, baby. The prices right now. These two chests make me 357 million. And this is just the money. This is just not even max, because I have to then spend that money to put into the stuff, like getting cane and sheep, to then make more money next turn. It's so insane. Like, already, it's not even a max setup nearly. I get 357. So from putting the money from I made from that Derpy into the next Derpy, I'm doing the crazy thing of switching a tier 8. I'm upgrading all the way to tier 11. But technically there's an easier way. All you have to do is get the Mayor Derpy to visit you and grant you the amazingness that is a tier 11 minion straight into your inventory. It's not really that much. It's not really that much to ask. We just have to ask the amazing Derpy to bless us with a beautiful tier 11 sheep minion. With tier 11 sheep minions, I was able to build the ranch, producing with only 20 minions, 180,000 mutton per day. With spending all the money to upgrade minion slots, as well as getting the 5 extra minion slots you can get by waiting at the Elizabeth Community Shop, I got about 20 minion slots. Now, the only reason that sheep is good now, and it wasn't before, is because they added this new pet. This sheep pet is one of the best mid-game dungeon pets out there. Reduces the mana cost of your abilities and increases your total mana while in dungeons. Now the thing is that it takes enchanted mutton to craft the sheep pet. The only reason you would ever have cooked enchanted mutton is to upgrade minions, so it very much drops in price. Instead of being worth almost 2 million, it drops all the way down to 200k. And that's why it rewards you so much if you're active, because if you go AFK, you're just going to lose out on a lot of profit. Now, if this was in the era of Techno's videos, well, I'd just get more minion slots and then be done. All you need is the tier 11 minions with enchanted lava buckets, and your mutton production is good. But this is not. Minion slots are an entirely different section of this. All you would need in the Techno era is to buy flycatchers. But now, I have to buy flycatchers. I also have to buy Mithril Infusion, which is a 10% buff that you have to put on each and every minion, each one costing 6 mil. And now there's a tier 12 for sheep minions. Don't even get me started on the fuel enchanted lava buckets, which are only worth 150k, are pretty cheap, all things considered. But the thing is, in order to hypermax your minions, 25% ain't gonna cut it. Magma buckets are 30%, and you have to spend almost 16 million to get 35%, which is the best bucket in the game. There are also, obviously, the catalysts, but now there's hyper catalysts, which cost way more, but they increase in the same amount. All of this costs a lot of money, but don't even get me started on the beacons! Also, I can fuel it to have 10% faster minions. I have to spend 60 million, and also I have to be Heart of the Mountain 5, which, you know, requires to do mining. So I had to go on here, do a bunch of random commissions, and I'm still not even there yet. I spent like a month just doing commissions, and these are insanely boring. So let's mine 250 mithril, or, oh, let's get 15 titanium. Oh, yay, we get to do titanium. So basically, I've done 133 commissions, which basically boils down to hours of, this is fun. I love mining. Not you again. Please don't impede my progress any more than you already have. You've already taken my dignity! Mining is my favorite thing. Ooh, but on the bright side, I'm at 53,000 XP, and now I'm at 54,000. Yay! The best place to start is tier 12 minions, though. But the problem with tier 12 minions, it's not just money. it's not just money that you have to spend. It's also time farming pelts. Where I'm not only upgrading it to level 8, I'm going all the way up to level 11. And then now I'm going to farm a bunch of pelts that take hours and hours to farm all of them to be able to upgrade them all to tier 12. So in the Mushroom Desert, over here we can talk to Trevor, and Trevor allows us to hunt for pelts. So you can take your tier 11 sheep minion over here, trade it in with 16 enchanted cooked mutton and 75 pelts, which have to be farmed manually, and you can upgrade to tier 12. Which is only really worth it for the insane sweats of the game, but it does take the time between actions from 12 seconds down to 9. So it's worth it, but my goodness, is it expensive. I might make a video on pelts in the future, I'm not sure, but I'll show you the process of this that takes hours. So we got it undetected, which is actually a decent amount. We got 7 pelts from that. Usually from like a trackable, which is a baseline animal, you get like 2 pelts. If there's the Finnegan mare with the specific perk, you can get like 3 from that one, which is nice. You basically have to have aspect at the end, because otherwise you have to walk all the way, but you know, all you have to do is just go all the way over here. And luckily I know where all the spawns are because I've done this for hours, but you just have to look around and be like, oh hey, an animal. Boom, and then 7 more pelts. And you basically do this for hours. I mean, for a max minion setup, all you need is 2,325 pelts. And, you know, you also just need 75 pelts for every single farming minion to get all of these minion slots. The most efficient way of getting sheep pets without having to spend any money is to have 1 minion per 4 sheep. But if you completely eliminate the chicken, let's say you have 7 chicken minions, well, that's 7 more minions that could be producing mutton. So I decided I'd be spending extra money to be able to buy the chicken eggs in exchange to have the extra mutton production. Now, since I am doing all of these upgrades to my minions without taking donations and grinding for the money myself, I am still missing a beacon, flycatchers for all my minions, and hyper catalyst. The hyper catalyst is the very last thing that anyone wants to do because it costs so much to keep up production to get as much mutton as possible. All of my sheep minions are still tier 12, all with mithril infusion, which has a 10%, plus the farm crystal, which gives another 10%. Plus, I also upgraded from enchanted lava buckets all the way to plasma buckets, which gives 35% baseline forever fuel upgrades. With all of those upgrades still missing out on the others, I can still bring the time between actions of my minions down from 9, which is the baseline of the tier 12, all the way down to 6.2. With the recommended most efficient setup of the ranch for sheep minions, it was hard to fit all of the sheep minions under the farming crystals radius. I did some testing and found out that the efficiency isn't changed by being close together. So I switched from the ranch to what I like to call the slaughterhouse. One of the most efficient setups, I think, in the game. All of them covered by the farm crystal. All of them farming off of 1 block. It's not the most humane thing, but oh, is it efficient! This is all to say, with all the money that I got from the April Derpy to then put into the August Derpy, I was able to upgrade them all to tier 12 with mithril infusion, and I mainly put into minion slots, which I got from about 20 to 23 of last Derpy all the way up to 29. With a setup of 29 out of the maximum 31 minions you can get in the entirety of Skyblock. With this setup, even without all my upgrades, I can still produce 404,115 mutton per day. Now that we're finishing up talking about sheep, though, you might be wondering, well, Jake, how did the last Derpy go? The one that this video's been building up to? How did the sheep stuff go out? Well, I just explained to you my current setup. To be honest, Derpy is in 7 hours from now. 7 hours, 19 minutes. I don't know. I don't know how this story ends just as much as you, so how about we find out together? While I'm explaining the rest of this, I'm gonna start selling my sheep. I went to go and sell them. I was expecting 10 mil. It's been around 12 mil. There's 17 million! I have an entire chest filled of legendary sheep, and plus a couple more. The reveal would have been not as good if it was just on top of it. There's technically 7.2 million mutton in this chest. Because I invested in sugarcane and sheep, which are both alchemy things, even late game people are trying to buy my sheep. For alchemy, it's great. And that's it. The election just ended. Mayor Derpy is here. With a also changed perk, instead of closing the auction house, all of the non-planners were complaining and the auction house no longer closes during Derpy. So instead we have paying 4 times the normal amount of taxes, so that's always fun. Before this Derpy even begins, we made a total of 900 million. Before I open this chest, we're going to go ahead and explain the details on sugarcane real quick. I decided to fully focus sugarcane. I didn't care about any other crop. I did contests with other crops, and I did pumpkins for XP to get to level 40, but besides that, I have hard focus sugarcane. But you know, farming is just really simple, actually, in the garden. All you have to do is farm to level 40, and so you can get your fermented sugarcane farm in the game. All around really simple stuff. That gets me to almost 1,000 farming points. Basically, in the free time I was waiting for the minions to work, I just farmed a lot of sugarcane. Now, a much smaller portion of my plan was S-tier pets, which you can make about 10 million profit if you sell at the right time during Derpy. I decided to wait on my elephant as well that I had bought. I made like 5 mil from it. Each stack of enchanted sugarcane is the equivalent of 1.6 million sugarcane. And in this chest is the equivalent of 85.2 million sugarcane. We have a sell price 125,000 per cane. So I'd say let's go ahead and sell this. The final amount that we made is 1.3 billion. Feels weird. This is my first time in Skyblock having over 1 billion coins. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure if that will be enough to max my sheep minions and my farming setup, or even what I'll spend it on besides that, but my goodness, has this been a journey. And it only goes up from here. It took me less than 8 hours to make 1.3 billion coins. And to update my playtime for the final derp, I'm up to 717 hours. 120 million sugarcane and 35.8 million mutton. If you would like to support me doing these big projects, then please consider checking out my Patreon, where you can see behind the scenes of these videos as well as chat with me. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see more videos like it, then make sure to slam that like button with a snow shovel. In the face! Do it now! And that is the end of this chapter of the story. In conclusion, finally!